My name is Ethan Cross, and I've spent most of my life out here on America's highways. Now to you, the road might just look like asphalt and painted lines. But to me, these roads are alive. They remember. They whisper. And sometimes, they show you things you were never meant to see. Tonight I'm going to tell you about something that happened to me out on I-76 near Denver, Colorado. A night that still makes my skin crawl. It was supposed to be just another routine drive. I was headed west, cruising along at about 70 miles an hour. The night was quiet, traffic was light, and the only sounds I could hear were the steady hum of my engine and the low howl of the wind pressing against my windshield. Truckers know that feeling. The calm of an empty highway, where the world seems asleep and you're the only one awake, cutting through the dark. But that calm didn't last long. Up ahead, my headlights caught something unusual. At first, I thought it was dust, like a cloud of dirt kicked up from a construction site. But this thing was huge. I'd say at least 20 feet wide and 10 feet tall. And it was moving straight across the highway, right into my path. I scanned the road for a truck or vehicle that might have caused it. Nothing. Not a single taillight. Just me, the highway, and that massive cloud. With no shoulder to pull off to, I had seconds to make a choice. Slamming the brakes could have been worse. Jackknifing the truck at this speed is a death sentence. So I did the only thing I could. I slowed just enough and braced myself to hit whatever it was. The second I entered that cloud, it sounded like a hailstorm. A violent, hammering barrage slamming against my windshield and hood. Thud, thud, thud. The entire cab rattled, as if someone had unleashed a rain of rocks. And in that instant, I knew this wasn't dirt. I slammed the washer fluid and wipers, trying to clear my view. But what smeared across the glass nearly made me gag. My windshield wasn't dirty. It was painted in blood and guts. That cloud wasn't dirt at all. It was a swarm. Bees. But not just any bees. These things were massive. Heavy enough that when they hit the truck they sounded like stones. Every impact was sharp, solid, and loud. I remember thinking, if I'd been on a motorcycle, or worse, walking down that stretch of road, there'd be no chance. That swarm would have torn me apart. When I finally pulled into a safe spot and climbed out to check, the sight almost made my stomach turn. The entire front of my rig looked like it had been spray-painted in yellow, red, and black. B-parts were plastered into the grille, clinging to the headlights, smeared across the bumper. And the creepiest part? Some of them were still twitching, tiny wings still shivering, legs still moving. As if the swarm wasn't finished yet. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. That night changed the way I see the road. We think of highways as predictable, just pavement, signs, and endless miles ahead. But the truth is, the road has a mind of its own. And sometimes, it throws things at you that don't belong in this world. To this day, whenever I drive near Denver, I can't shake the thought of that swarm. What if it happens again? What if next time? I'm not lucky enough to make it through. My name is Ethan Cross, and this wasn't just a story. It was a reminder. Out there in the dark, the scariest things aren't always ghosts or shadows. Sometimes, it's the living swarms that tear through anything in their path. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and stick around, because I've got plenty more stories from the road that'll keep you awake at night.